gonna open the presentation to your view, so you can do the client showcase / demo of the product.
All right, so I'm on a client of ours called the American Society for Surgery of the Hand. This is an association of hand surgeons. And we've been working with them for about 3 different years now on a variety of projects. We've implemented about 6 different DNN portals for them, everything from their main site to a site dedicated to the general public, a educational site for their hand surgeons, a site for a textbook that they produce, and a couple of other initiatives. From the beginning, when they were talking with us, they emphasized that search was critical to the success of their initiatives. They have a lot of content, and they have a wide variety of different kinds of content. So by which I mean they've got around 10,000 different distinct pieces of content that they've produced, and that content falls into different buckets. There's obviously lots of documents, textual content, and that textual content is PDF documents, but it's also web pages, and I think there's a few Word documents in there for good measure as well. But they're also producing lots of videos, and they have a lot of imagery content as well. They have events, they have this journal content that's off on this third party, as I mentioned earlier. So their dream was to have all of this content searchable through a single interface. So I'm on their homepage here. Well, they've got a search box fairly prominent, upper right-hand corner, fairly typical. When I click into the search box, the very first thing it sort of does is it shows me that I can actually choose to search among different domains, if you will. So textbook, handcare.org is their public site, and on and on. And at the bottom here is the Journal for Hand Surgery. So for now, I'm just going to do a search for wrist, and I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to essentially search across all of those different properties. Okay, so here's my results page, and so if I scroll down here, you can see that on the left we have a variety of filtering options. The filter by source is essentially back to that concept of which domain do you want to search, or which portal do you want to search. But beyond that, there's format. These are taxonomy terms that apply to them specifically. So this is, again, custom tailored to their needs. So they determine that they've got a certain number of formats that they want folks to be able to filter by. Purpose is another taxonomy term that they use. Authorship is fairly typical in there, filter by year, so filter by date, etc. So there are filtering options, and if I just were to grab one, you can see it's not a postback, it's very performant, very quick, and I'll unfilter that for now. You've got sorting options over here, so relevancy, obviously, time span, or oldest to newest versus newest to oldest, and authorship are all different sorting options. And then we have tabs here. So this is similar to the Google approach of saying, here's your text results, here's your videos, here's your imagery, and so on. So if I click over to videos, I go from that sort of vertical listing to more of a grid view. And you'll see here, these are fairly, they could have chosen to have different views in terms of showing more of the video content. They chose to kind of go with a more, just showing the title here. You'll see that these all have locks, and as I hover over it, I'm getting the don't symbol. So these are all locked down. I'm not logged in right now, so I can't actually view the content. I get to see that it's there, but it doesn't let me actually view it. I'll log in a little bit later and show you how that changes. If I click over to the Images tab, this is similar. In this case, though, I can actually choose to view the items, and I'll try and choose something that's not gruesome here. So I'll pick this X-ray. So when I choose that, it actually pulls up the X-ray in a light box here, and I've got pan and zoom in capabilities all built into this view. I could also, from here, go to choose to view a different search result. So I can actually browse through my image results here without leaving the search results page. So if I decide, well, that's not what I'm looking for, I could simply close that. I'm still on my search results, and I can then scroll down. And the video results are similar. They pull up in a light box. So it's a very nice interface for actually browsing through this kind of image content. JHS, this is the Journal of Pain Surgery. So as I mentioned, this is coming from a third-party website. It's called, the platform's called Elsevier. It's very common in the medical industry to use this platform. And so what they've done is provide an extract of all their data, and they pass it to us, and then we index it as you're seeing here. If I were to click through these results, actually I can't right now because, again, I'm not logged in. So we do have executed a single sign-on as part of everything that we're doing here, and if I was logged in, it would allow me to actually go over to the content on this other platform and be logged in and view it. So this kind of speaks to the sort of inherent nature of being an enterprise-ready platform where we can kind of go in and customize it specifically to the needs of this user or this organization. Not every organization needs a single sign-on or has a specific type of integration, but we've designed the platform so that we can do such things. If I were to go ahead and get logged in here, let's just show you how that changes. Okay, so let's see. I think we still, all right, so we still have our search result of risks. If I were to go back to the video tab, now instead of the lock, I can actually click on the result and actually start viewing this video right in context. And again, if I kind of watch a few minutes of this and decide that's not what I was looking for, I haven't left my search result. I don't have to hit the back button. I can just easily come down here and grab a different result there. The lock icon that used to be right here is replaced by this plus icon. So it says add to library. So the idea here is that I can actually save my content to, or I can save content in which I'm interested to my own personal collection or my own personal library. This is actually a PackFlash feature. So what we've done is that we've integrated this very tightly to PackFlash, and in fact, all of this content that you're viewing here has been entered into PackFlash, so that we've got it so that if the content's in PackFlash, we know very well how to index it and use the various features of PackFlash, such as authorship, categorization, and all the imagery and so on. We can pull that right out and use that within our search results. We can also index general page results of DNN, so we're fully DNN ready and DNN capable. We've also, let me demonstrate a sort of a spell check feature here. So if I can search for, I'm going to search correctly for carpal tunnel, and you'll see as I'm typing, I do have a type ed feature, very common these days, and I could just choose carpal tunnel there and get my results. But perhaps I don't spell it right, and I hit enter. We don't have any results for this misspelling, but we did actually recognize and say, oh, maybe you meant carpal tunnel and you misspelled it, so I can just click on that. So I think that's a good overview there. The last thing I'll point out is the fact that we can really customize the look and feel of this, as I discussed earlier. So in this case, we've got the textual results don't really have any imagery, and we're going for this very north and south vertical approach here. I'm going to jump over to another client. In this case, it's somewhat similar in terms of we've got filters on the left, although they've chosen to actually roll those filters up and kind of de-emphasize them. I can open them up simply by doing this. But we've got complete ability to customize this as they needed. And then the other thing to note is these filters that they have are actually hierarchical, so I can actually dig into the filters. That was a specific need that they had that most clients we found don't need that, but we were able to accommodate it. And then when I look over here in the results themselves, this first tab is our textual results, but they made a conscious decision that they wanted to make sure that every single result had an image, and so therefore they could actually have this sort of richer looking result page that shows all the imagery here. Beyond that, though, the image galleries and videos are similar to what you saw. They chose a slightly different or larger view of the resulting image there in the Lightbox, so they've got that. They're pulling events as a separate tab, so this is all just customizable according to the client needs. And these folks have definitely had specific relevancy rules that were different from the Hand Society client that I showed you over here. So all of that is completely customizable. And just to show you yet one more example, here's a client that we did a search for. It's just another medical association client, and we did a search for dermatology. And in this case, we've got textual results here again in the first tab. But within that, we wanted to actually have slightly different formatting depending upon the type of result. So I searched for dermatology, and the very first result here shows a dermatology event. And what we're saying is if it's an event, have this particular event icon and actually show the event date over here in this particular format. And we're pulling the event start date here. Coming down here, there's a site page dedicated, and we're showing a different icon for that. And if I keep going, I've actually found staff listings specifically for dermatology, in which case we're pulling their contact information right up into the search results in a very easy to use way. So here's their email, here's their phone, and we're pulling their title in here. So I guess the key takeaway here from these three different views is, three different clients I should say, is we can really tailor the implementation to a specific client's needs, and there's nothing that we can't do. So it's designed to be extensible. It's designed to have an in-depth consultative effort where we determine exactly how your clients would want to use search, what your organizational needs are, and then we respond to those.
Got it. Perfect.